Brainiacs. Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, all over the planet. Where are we? What are we doing? Look at y'all. Tonight, gonna be fun. Gonna be fun all night long here Friday night. Welcome to the Matrix Minds. Your host Matthew Turner here. Yeah. The life and the journey of an extraterrestrial experiencer. We've all heard many of these stories, but we have not heard Nancy Thine's story. She is also a lifetime from little age till present day experiencer, contactee. We're gonna dive deep into her life, her journey, and she's gonna share. I've been trying to get this lady on the broadcast for the last, I know, every bit of a year. Probably a year, going on a year and a half. But she's here. Why it took her so long, I have no idea, but nevertheless, Brainiac, don't go anywhere. Buckle up. Spend the evening with me and Nancy as we dive deep into her journey. Take phone calls after the first hour. Don't go anywhere, Brainiac. Share this broadcast, share this podcast. Let's do this. Yeah, man.
You guys ready? It's time. It's showtime, brains. That's right. It's Matrix time. And it's go time. Welcome aboard, everybody. Let's go! Talk about ufology, conspiracy, controversy, and anything and everything that we can get into tonight. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Get up, Brainiac. Yeah. It's definitely your show. Your show, and we appreciate you for being here. Buckle up, everybody. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, Brainiacs! No doubt about it. What is going on, everybody? Let's run over here. Right, real quick, man. I still have all. They've been screwing with her audio. Do you know that? That they just have been messing with her audio. I mean, now they're messing with my screen over here. I got you. I got you anyway. What's up, Miss Nancy? Thank you for being with me tonight.
Thank you. I'm proud to be here.
It took a minute, didn't it?
Oh, close to 2 years.
That is what it is. Okay, that's what it is. 2 years. I said about a year and a half, but man,
it's been a while.
Yeah, you've thrown me into. I don't see my window, my chat window for the brains. Yeah. It's completely gone. Where it went, I don't know, but it's all right. We'll get them back. We'll get them up there.
Okay.
What? Let's see. I guess what I want to do with you is, like I said, off air. I was telling you, the best way for these guys to get to know you is to pretty much just tell them who you are. I know you have not got a book yet, air quotes yet, right? But tell us a little bit about you, all right, where you're at, and then I'm going to dig. Then we're going to dig deep into your childhood. When all this extraterrestrial contact stuff even began.
Okay. Well, I am a contactee. It's been a lifelong experience for me. It took me a long time to get over being scared and to understand who I was, what the reason for all this. And memories start back as far as, as being a toddler. And I also previously worked for the Department of Defense. I was in the dental field, and I worked with a lot of majors, commanders, and generals, officers. So I did obtain it was mandatory that I had to get a security clearance. So, that was very interesting and get to overhear a lot of things, but nothing worth repeating, really, nothing of real interest. So the main thing is that I am an experiencer, and I have grown into it. It didn't just happen overnight. I tried staying up all night thinking that I must be having bad dreams or whatever. And I thought if I could stay up all night, it wouldn't happen, but that's not how it works. They have their own agenda and plan for you, and, there's no negotiations. However, I did ask them, why me and things of this nature. And they showed me a vision of myself being born, and that I had agreed to come here and to be here at this particular time to assist with humanity in this help us in extension, and also to help raise the vibrational level, our frequencies, and to help humanity accept extraterrestrials into our lives. So it's been interesting. It really has.
But when did it all start as a child? When did you first run into this?
Well, it happened before I was born, but my memories are from a toddler, and most of that they use screen images, or they would take an image from my mind, and it could appear as a person or a character of a storybook or anything, and they can change the scenery. So they were getting me socially ready for them, and it was kind of like a grooming period. So basically they were grooming me from a toddler all the way up into adulthood to do what I'm doing now. And they were patient with me and gave me time to understand and piece all this together, what their agenda is, what it all means, and why they chose me, and all these type things. And when I was younger, they would tell me if this ever became too hard, that I could always come home. And that never really registered with me. I don't know why, but it didn't register. But as I got older, more and more things were happening, I realized I was an extraterrestrial before I came here. And then through them, they explained to me that every race that is working towards humanity, becoming a galactic citizen and introducing themselves to us, have a incarnate human being here that came from different races of extraterrestrials. And we're all here to do the same thing, to help with extension and to help humanity raise their vibrational frequency so that we can go from 3D to 4 or 5D. And we will be also, they want to activate our DNAs a little bit so that we can see things for what they are. Our intellect will improve, and we will see things that we never were able to see before. I think we know that a lot of animals can see things that we cannot, but as we get more intelligent, we'll be able to do more things. So, and we have a lot of dormant capabilities that have been dumbed down by the so-called governments and things of this nature. They all of our foods have toxins, fluoride in our water, all these things. It has destroyed our pineal gland, and these hidden abilities are still there, and we are capable of looking within and finding these things and changing things in our life to be able to use these. So it's been an interesting road, and I've learned a lot, and I've learned a lot about human beings, and I've learned that being here on Earth is a school, and it's an experience for all of us to learn things. So,
I have a question for you,
okay,
and that would be because I've spoken to a lot of contactees, abductees, and I'm not quite sure if you know this or not, but I also interview AI. Okay, like literally AI.
oh, that's fun.
Let me ask you what you believe all of this to be for. I'm talking the extraterrestrial, your contacts. I'm talking about the ones that are with you whenever they take you.
Yes.
What is all of this for? You say it's a school. ET.
Well, being a human being we're in school down here. Okay. So for me, the reason they sent me here was to help humanity, but what they want from humanity is they want us to take better care of our planet. Human beings are a very minute number compared to all the things that they love about our planet. They love planet Earth, and they consider Earth as a being. I don't want to say physical, but it's a being, and they consider plants, animals, insects, water, everything. Our aquatic life, animals, mammals, everything. They have a great love for everything. So whatever we do, we don't realize that it really goes against nature, and it disrupts the nature's balance on how it operates, including our Earth, the way that we pollute it and things of this nature, and the toxins that we put up in the air. It's more. There's more to planet Earth than just us. It is a living planet, and everything on it is special. And extraterrestrials had a part in our tinkering with our DNA and creating us, and they also played a part in all of the things that are here on the planet. So it's all very important. And the main thing that they disliked and really took a big interest in paying attention to us is playing around with technology that could wipe us out. But the thing is, it's not just that it would wipe us out, it would disrupt the whole planet and nature, and they're not going to let us do that. That's not going to happen. So
I have a question in regards to your contacts. There, in the chat here, Miss Morgan Roundtree asked if those extraterrestrial contacts that you have got, do you also consider them your guides, or in reference to spiritual guides?
I have grown spiritually due to them, but they are my family. I have face-to-face contact. They are physical beings, biological beings, and they love. Even the ones that they think are robotic looking and things, they have souls. All of them have souls. They love. They may not have the expressions and things that we have on our face, and they certainly don't have all the emotions that we have. That makes us quite different from any other being in the universe. We're very emotional, so they find that interesting, and they're very fascinated with it. But also, if we're in a really fearful state, like when they approach us, if we're in a very fearful state, they can feel this, But the thing is, it's tenfold times what they feel. And they really don't like that, to be quite honest, and that's why they'll put you in a subconscious state where you're kind of like you're not conscious but you're still functional, and they do that because you know it's just really hard for them to feel that. It's very unused. They're not used to that feeling, so it's really strange to them. And rather than deal with it, they just say, okay, we'll tap you out for a little while.
You see, there again, going back to like several of the other like contactee stories that I've contacts that I've spoke with. You also are a conscious contactee, correct?
Yes. They give me more conscious time with them all the time, and they've been very patient with me. If well, I'll say this: my sister also is an experiencer, and my son is, and my son and I just got back from a trip to Mexico back in September, and they wanted us to go there, and they encouraged my son to take me there. So we went, and we went up in the mountains to where it's purely not a tourist area, and it was a lot of nature, and we saw an indigenous tribe called the Zapote people, and they're also called the people of the clouds because from we flew into Mexico City, and then we flew to Hotaco. I hope I'm saying that right. And from there, we took a bus and rode up for 3 hours into the mountains, and it was extremely cold up there. And when you look down, we were above the clouds, so it was quite different. But it was very, very beautiful, and it was nobody up there spoke English. There was no ATMs. We had no internet and no cell phone coverage up there. We had to be totally prepared before we got there. We knew all this going in, what it was going to be like. So we got to experience meeting these indigenous people, and what they wanted us to learn was the fact that this indigenous people, their tribe history goes back as far as the Mayans and the Incas and things of this nature. So, but they were very close to ascension, but they can't hardly make it, and their tribe is dying off because their young people will not learn their ways and carry on their traditions. So they're more interested in technology and going to the bigger cities like Mexico City, or even leaving and going to the United States to earn money, so their race is dying, and it was really not a materialistic race by any means. And if you go up there, you would see what I mean. They do have electricity, but that's about it. They don't have computers or TVs, or they have wells, or they have sister rings where they catch the rainwater. They don't have all the appliances and stuff like we have, so they live a very unmaterialistic life. So, but they're dying off now because their young people they've got a taste of technology, and that's what they want.
Yeah, you shared with me they want nothing really to do with their ancestral heritage, and that's a problem for that race.
It is.
You've got a dying culture. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yes. So they wanted us to understand that, and they also chose that place, I would imagine, well, I know, is because it's so natural, and the forests are very, very dense, everything's so close. There's not a lot of space in between the trees and stuff, and everything's at like a incline, so it's really difficult to hike really through there because it's uphill or downhill big time all the way. But they wanted us to look around and appreciate nature, and they were explaining to me that trees are alive, water is alive, everything has energy and is alive. And they would take their hands and go, life is everywhere. That's what they would say. Life is everywhere. And
Wow.
what was really unusual about that is my son ended up going through a hiking trip with them, which was an all-day hike, and I did not go. I could not do it. I wasn't even going to try. I'm not in shape or something like that. But the minute that he got down to where these tribes people were, the tribesman comes out of his house and he goes, "Life is everywhere." Exactly what the ETs had told us. And this indigenous man said, "Life is everywhere." And so that was affirmation that this is what they wanted us to see. And so, um, you know, and they would say stuff like, "Well, why would you think that a tree is not alive?" And we're like, "Well, I don't know, just never really thought about it." And so the extraterrestrial was talking to the tree, and he said at some point we would be able to evolve to where we could do these things. And he said that the tree said to him to tell me that it's very funny that we think that we don't need them when they provide everything we need to breathe. So
That's common sense.
yeah,
That's common sense.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But a lot of people do not even, unlike yourself, me, or quite a few other people in the chat, they don't even recognize that a tree is living.
right.
Seriously, and that is up to me. To me, personally, I know this word is going to sound crazy. It's going to sound really bad, but people who cannot see life in a plant or a tree disgust me. I'm
Yeah.
being honest with you. You know why? Is because we are literally obliterating this planet. Okay?
Yeah.
Look at the rainforest. They kill hundreds and thousands of acres per day or whatever. I mean,
It's sad.
it's
you know.
these things are living in
Right.
things.
Yes.
I've got a couple questions for you from the audience.
Okay.
Mr. Christopher Peebles, I'm going to conjoin these questions, okay?
That's fine.
Dennis Jr. and Mr. Christopher Peebles, I'm going to get this, combine this. What races of ET are you in contact with, or where are these beings from?
Well, most of them live on big starships. They all came from different places in the well, these are interdimensional beings that I have contact with and experience with. They're interdimensional. So, but they do their spacecraft for long periods of time, and they actually live on there. So they're the short grays, which the one that comes to see me is a female, 4 foot, about 4 foot to 5 foot female, and she's been with me my whole life, and she's always the one that comes to get me and takes me to craft. And when I get on craft, there are tall grays, there are many different races, many humanoid races. And to be honest with you, I don't exactly know each star system where they come from, and I don't necessarily know what race they are. I just know that they're humanoids, and I don't ask them questions like that. I don't know why I don't, but a lot of times when I'm up there, I'm just so in awe of everything that, and I'm just so curious looking around and just looking at my environment and stuff that a lot of times I just look at the ones that are just right around me, but there's always a group of them surrounding and watching everything I do, because they want to check me for mental stability. They want to check on my personal growth and how I am adapting to my human life, and also how I'm adapting to understanding, my experiences with them. Because
Right.
it has grown. It didn't just like happen overnight. It has grown. So
Right.
yes.
Well, if
And
you're on the Matrix here with me and these guys, then you're about as whacked out as we are. So
yes.
again, thank you for being here.
Oh, I love being here.
A question in regards to being on ship and those that are on ship. Okay, Miss
Yes.
Tammy Bonham asks, if a nuclear war, right? If the planet here comes down to nuclear war, do you think those ships or those entities would start taking our species off planet onto ship?
What the only thing I know is that something is going to happen, and I know that the first extraterrestrials that come to Earth and make their presence may not be the ones that are in our best interest. Now, I don't know why or for sure that that's the case, but I know that that is a possibility. But I also know that if that does happen, the interdimensionals will be pretty quick right behind them. So I don't know everything. I, I know probably a lot more than what I consciously know. Subconsciously, I know a lot, but they want me to have my human experience and have a stable life. And I have family here, and I know that I have family up there watching me. And I make a point, I think, to consciously not really look and make eye contact with certain individuals up there because I'm afraid that I'll get homesick. And I have children here that I love and would never want to leave, but I know that I have family there too. But it's
Here, do you hear these butts? I'm hearing these but.
At some point I'm probably gonna have to make a decision, but I'm not ready to make those kind of decisions right now. You know, it's really weird. I mean, the good part is that when I'm finished here, I know where I'm going. I know where home is, and I know that I have family there. But there's a lot here that I'm not finished here. I have a lot to do here. My mission is not complete, and I have family here that I love and want to be and have normal experiences with. You know, I'm a grandmother. I want to have my grandmother experiences and
Right.
things of this nature. So I have to balance these things out because not everybody in my family really likes these subjects. You know, just because
Mhm.
I believe all this and I have these experiences. I have my sister, she does. I have my son, he does, and we can all communicate. But we really, outside of that, you know, it's really not a topic that most of the rest of the family want to talk about. And they kind of hope that it's not real, you know. And so I understand people have a lot of questions. I mean, I did too, you know. I really did. I totally understand that.
Let
I'm
me
not
run this.
telling anybody you don't have to believe anything I say. Everybody's on their own spiritual path, and we're all here to learn. So everybody needs to do their own research, form their own opinions. You know, don't, you know, question things. I think that's great. Question things, research it, look it up. And another thing is, if you'll just look within yourself, find out who you truly are, not where you're being pulled 40, 50 times like work, kids taking you, dragging you everywhere, all these different things, this fast paced world that we live in. Take some time and just forget all that and look within, learn to meditate or learn to have a moment where you can just sit and find your inner self. And you'll find out that your subconscious will actually talk to you, and it's not going to sound like a person talking to you. It's just going to be like you'll have really some intellectual thoughts that will help you.
Let me ask you real quick. Do you think that they say that we. I personally believe that we are a multi-dimensional being. Okay, I believe that we are a multi-dimensional spirit. We are spirit before we are being. That's the way I believe. But do you ever think that soon, here coming down the pike, okay, whether it be in an energy shift, a vibrational, a rise in vibrational frequency globally, do you think that what specific asset do you think is going to descend on the human being itself? Do you think that telepathy is going to be coming down the pike here real soon? Do you think that any kind of like our abilities, what ability do you think is going to kick in here real soon?
They are coming to people in their dream states, and they are activating certain parts of our DNA that have been dumbed down from all the toxins and things of this nature. So as we awaken and become more intellectual, and we're more in tune with what's going on around us and what's going on in the world, and we're going to realize we have been lied to.
That'd be intuition.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is gut instinct getting stronger, and the being's intuition going, something just doesn't add up.
Yes, we've been lied to our whole life. We've been denied our extraterrestrial heritage. We all have a little DNA in us. That junk DNA is extraterrestrial DNA. So we have all these capabilities inside us. We have the ability to heal ourselves. We have the ability to be telepathic. We'll learn to be able to see and know that a tree is alive, and actually probably be able to communicate with it if we take the time and just pay attention to things. Right now we're running around with our heads chopped off, and we don't notice things, but we will slow down a bit and start enjoying our lives more, and not focus so much on material things, and slow up and enjoy our very short life. We have a very short life compared to other beings in the universe. So it was never intended for us to be in a slave situation. We are enslaved in this 9 to 5, working to pay off bills, trying to keep up with the Jones, so to speak, trying to put food on the table. And now it's to the point where most families are having to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. And see, extraterrestrials can help us with all these things. They can show us how we can have better foods, and how to take better care of ourselves, get rid of all these toxins and fossil fuels and fluoride in our water, all these things, and all these synthetic drugs. We will not need all this kind of stuff if we just let them accept that they're here and accept their assistance, meaning they are not going to fix everything that we do wrong. We make mistakes, we have to fix them. We are here on free will, and we have to be intelligent enough to fix our own mistakes, but they will step in and assist and do anything they can without stepping on that free will boundary.
Ms. Nancy, let me ask you, what is one of your, because you have had experiences all of your life, even up until to these days, these recent days, right?
Yes.
So you tell me, and I'm gonna grasp for straws here. You just give everyone a really good scenario of what would be one of your favorite moments off planet.
Oh, wow. I have several. Okay.
There's got to be something to stand out. There's got to be something to stand out.
All right. So my little gray ET mother comes to get me, and she takes me on a craft, and then we somehow we're transported and we get on a different type craft, which is different from the first one we were on. And there was a Palladian that was a pilot, and we were on craft. And it was me, and they had me in like some kind of like suit like thing, and we went to the moon. And so um, we landed on the moon, and they wanted me to experience being on the moon. And so I was in a suit, and I had a full suit and stuff, and they let me walk around. And but be honest, they didn't let me hang around there very long. So it was pretty much we got there, and we got to move around and just have the experience. And then we loaded up, and then they carried me back down. So that was one experience, and that was with like there's usually several different races involved. And this other time, the little gray, they always use the grays to come and get in the transport and all that kind of stuff. However, they are biological. They're not a robot, although a lot of people think that because they are pretty emotionalist, but they have souls, and they're loving in their own way. So, but they are very task oriented. So there's no negotiating. If they're there to do something and do an exam on you, that's what's going to happen. And and if you're fearful or scared, they're going to tap you out, and do what their task is. And they don't mean it in any harmful way. It's just that's their job. So a lot of people probably have different reasons for being here on Earth. Not everybody was in my position and made this choice, but everybody has tried to. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm waving to some people who come in here.
Oh, I thought I was talking too much, but anyway.
No.
But
No,
everybody's
you go.
got a different reason for being here. Yeah, everybody's got a different reason for being here. So not everybody's on the same spiritual path. But the other thing that they came and they got me, and I got on craft, and there was some other humans, and I asked them what we were doing, and they said that we were going on a mission. And I was like, okay. So basically what was happening is that we were a group of extraterrestrials. There was an aquatic being, and then there were some grays, and then like some humanoids. And we were going, and they were looking for these other interdimensionals, or they were like animals. And at the time, I didn't realize that our word for that were cryptids, but they were like animals of some sort, and some were aquatic, some were not. But we were looking for different animals that had got over into our dimension, and they were collecting them and taking them back to where they belong, because they were creating havoc and fear, and they didn't need to be here. So they were collecting them and taking them back to where they belong. And I was more or less I was an observer. I really didn't participate or anything. I just saw what was going on.
Miss Nancy, got some questions right here. What? I'm going to try to formulate this to where I understand it. She said, Tammy Bonham says, why are some people contactees and most or not? So I'm going to assume she says, why are some people contactees and why others are not? What makes you all special, maybe?
I don't know that we're that special. I would have to say we are special to ETs. Otherwise, we wouldn't have these long relationships. In my case, it's because I was an extraterrestrial before I came here, and what my relationship to the ones that are coming for me, I don't exactly know, because a lot of reasons. I'm here to do a mission, and I can't confuse that relationship with them with my relationship with my family here. So, there's a lot of unspoken things that are just known. And I know in my heart that I'm loved and I have family there, and I know that I'm loved here and I have family here. So it's, but the reason I think the main thing that I know that there's a major difference is there's a major difference between abductees and contactees. And the abductees, are, I think, a form of government was pretending to be extraterrestrials and taking people and doing tests and things of this nature on them because they want to keep fear. As long as they have us in fear, they have control over us. So, and then again, if they were actually taken by extraterrestrials, it would have been the group of extraterrestrials that are on the lower rim. They are not interdimensionals, and that would be. There's about 62 races of gray, or there is 62 races of grays, and there's one gray race that is with the reptilians, and they don't want humanity or mankind to evolve any further than what we are right now, because if they keep us dumbed down, they have control over us, and they are the ones that have formed, along with some really rich people, have formed all these banking systems. Fossil will not let us get off fossil fuels, putting all these toxins and fluorides and things in our toothpaste and our pesticides, and also keeping us dependent upon medications so that the big pharmaceutical companies can make a lot of money off of us and keep us. We're a slave to their system. We are a slave to the way that they make us live, and that will change. That is the most significant thing that is going to change for humanity, is that extraterrestrials are going to tweak our DNA and help us wake up and realize what is happening to us and free us from this slavery that we've been enslaved on. And things will change. Things will change.
I know I'm not firing on all 6 cylinders at the moment. I'm working on it, but I'm not at the moment. I got some more questions for you.
Okay.
I'm going to run this together too. This is more from Miss Morgan Roundtree. She says, do you believe that you are a navigator on these ships, or just a passenger on these ships? As well as, she says, the Who definitely have moments where I think this was a typo. It says Who definitely, so I'm thinking, she says we definitely have moments where I'm connecting and I don't have all of the details, but you yourself have lifelong relationships, and that you are not aware of races or states of being of the entities that you speak with. I'm asking genuinely. Morgan, you have to rephrase that because I really don't grasp that.
I think I understand what she's saying.
Okay. Go back to the navigator. Are you the navigator, or are you just a rider?
No. I'm not a navigator. I am an observer. They're wanting me to experience something or learn something. I am not in charge. I am not a navigator. I pretty much know that my position when I was extraterrestrial up there was in the medical dental type field, and that's what I got into down here too. So, and I've
wait, what? Wait, say that. I'm listening to you, but I just heard you say what you were there, you brought back here.
Yep. Well, that was my interest here. I didn't knowingly do that. It just all fell into place for me from the minute I was 18 years old. I started getting involved in dentistry, and it just
my God,
into a full-time career. Yeah.
And
I know that I've seen visions of me doing the same type work on, on craft, on different type beings. And not all beings look like grays or humanoids. There's other type of beings out there.
My
And
own.
another thing, when you say what race, just because we here call them Anunnaki or we call them Greys, we call them Palladian or whatever, they don't necessarily go by that. As a matter of fact, Greys don't go by Greys. They are 62 different races, and every race performs a function. Like one race may all be pilots, crafts. Another race of Greys that we call them Greys, but they have their own names like Ebens, Sasuni. Oh gosh, let me think. I can't even remember half of it now, but they all have different names. So, and they don't all look alike, and they're but they do the Greys. It's like each race usually has a specialty service that they perform, you know. So, and their crafts, their pilots are specially trained because the craft is a living being. That craft and that pilot, they connect, okay? They're mind to mind, and nobody else can drive that craft because they are, from the minute they are coming to the earth, that's what they're for, is to do that. That's their sole job.
I've heard that the being is biologically, mentally connected to the craft. The craft, like literally, in other words, if I had a craft,
they just put their hands, and then it's mind to mind.
Right. If my craft would not react to you,
down. I could not put my hands in there and it do the same thing for me, you know. And another ET could not go in and do that job because their race is designed for that. Now, as far as how the other races do it, I think it's pretty much the same way. They all have their like specialty function.
Oh,
and that's just kind of the way they do things.
Shout out to the Department of Defense out here, boys. Wouldn't you just love to get your hands on that technology? No, you would.
I saw a lot of cool technology when I was working for the Department of Defense because I was in Oahu School of Barracks, and it was a learning facility, and everybody that graduates from dental school that's in the Army goes through there and picks a specialty, and they have a department for every specialty. So I got to really experience a lot of cool things, and they had a lot of 3D imaging that private practices around here where I live, they don't even have anything like that. The closest thing that I've seen to that is when I watched the UFO hearings in Mexico just the other day. They were showing three-dimensional of the little aliens. They were showing like their skeleton and their jaws and teeth and stuff. It was all in 3D. The eggs in the one female, they were showing all in 3D, and they could see like the embryonic state, like in different stages of development and stuff. So so there's a lot of technology that the government has that we're not privy to. And the only reason why I got to see some of it is because I was working there and it was a learning facility.
Got another question coming at you from Miss Tammy Bottom once again. She's like, do you believe that those in control here on the planet, right? The ones that we were talking about and we know as the cabal. Do you believe that these people are from the star system of Orion?
I know that the bad race of Greys that are not interdimensional, they're all are from Orion. And so that would mean that some of the reptilians are from that realm too. And the cabal, either they are hybrids or either if they're human, they wouldn't be from there.
All right. I'm going through questions because I mean I've got my own questions too. Are these gray hybrids, you believe, are they created by the Orion race, or are they created by many races around the cosmos.
There are 62 different types. So that does not mean that they're all sizes. There's the little small ones that work under, there's some, but many races of little small ones that work for the tall grays. And of the tall grays, there's many different races that, so, but the only really ones that I know that are not fond of humanity are the ones from Orion, and they are in cahoots with the reptilians and the cabal and the people that try to control us. And I want to explain something, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the lower rim extraterrestrials cannot leave our solar system. They will never, ever reach the point where they can become interdimensional. So that's the main reason why they want to control us and keep us like we are, because if they have control, they're the big dogs, okay? And they can manipulate and work our politicians and whatnot as puppets for them, okay? So with the interdimensionals being here and assisting us through ascension and helping our DNA to activate, we have the capability of becoming interdimensional. So we are a threat to these lower rim extraterrestrials because we can do something that they cannot do. And that is why they are fighting tooth and nail to keep their control over us, but it is not going to happen. We are getting smarter. Disclosure is happening. It's going to continue to happen. They will fight tooth and nail, and that's probably why they're got this war going on and all these things going on. It's to keep humanity distracted, hoping that it will slow up the process. The process is going to happen, but they'll do anything to try to slow it up or change it or whatever, but it's not going to change. It is going to happen. And we can become interdimensional, and we can become galactic citizens. And if we we accept the fact that they're here, okay, that's a big thing. Except they're here. Mm-hmm. We are not the only ones in the universe. There's a multitude of beings up there, and that they're here and they can assist us, and we can become galactic citizens of renowned respect, and we will be of value because we are interesting. We are not like other beings in the universe, and we have a lot to offer if we play our cards right and we listen and learn and change a lot of our childish ways. They're basically been waiting for us to grow up, and we're only now just to an intellectual level where we can understand they are not gods. They believe in a creator God. They do not believe in the type of God that we have, and they do not believe in all these man-made religions. But there is a creator source that is over everything. Now, that does not mean that the extraterrestrials did not help create us. They're intelligent. They're about 1 million years ahead of us in technology and evolution. They came down and did these things to help us, and they've been watching us this whole time. And it is just now that we are mature enough intellectually that they can have this kind of relationship with us that they want. But we still got a long ways. We still got a ways to go, but it is going to happen.
Miss Nancy, are you aware Mr. Jeremy Pointer has got a question asking about the Archons? Are you aware of a species or the name of the Archons?
I've seen an Archon. Yeah.
What exactly do you believe or feel that they are?
What I was told by my female ET mother, a grave, she took me to an ET city, and we were walking around looking at the just walking around looking, and she was showing me the buildings and the colors and the crystals and these beautiful things. And we came across a being that I drew a picture of it, and it's on my website. I drew a picture, and it's not like anything I really know how to explain it, except that this particular one, it was like making these frantic sounds, and it was like trying to attract people and trying to thrive off of their or feed off of their energy.
The
And
Archon.
yes, and it was
Okay.
trying to feed off of their energy. And people there, well, they were not people, they were extraterrestrials, knew what it was doing. And so they were like just shunning it more or less. And so I was like in utter shock, and I was like, what is this? And my ET mother said, they're a dying race. That is an example of a dying race, and they're crying out, and they're hungry for energy off others, and they're doing anything to try to get it. And but the unfortunate part is that everybody knows what they're doing, and so it's being ignored. But it was the particular one was a dying race. So that was another example of just learning about different beings, and they run their course, and people wise up and realize what's going on, and they can't feed off of their energies anymore.
Damn. All right. Miss
What did
Rose.
you say, Sam?
Miss Rose CC says she's a little bit confused. Miss Nancy, are you mentally taken up into these ships, right, in a state of meditation, or are
No.
you in a dream,
No.
or are you physically
No, I'm
Conscious.
consciously awake, and they come and get me. Let me explain this if we have time. When I was younger, they would come into my room. I would sense their presence, and I would vibrate from head to toe, toe to head, and then after a couple of period of time, my body would start to float up, and then my ET mother would hold my hand and carry me up through the roof and through walls and all kinds of stuff. And I never understood. I would look down and see that my bed's empty, and I never understood how they were able to do this. But I understand it now. We are in a 3D dimension, and we are not able to walk through walls and go through ceilings. So they come in and they take your body and vibrate it to a higher frequency that is equivalent to theirs. Therefore, that's how we're able to go through walls and things, because they vibrate us at a higher frequency. And so now I am fully tuned, so to speak, and they don't necessarily do it that way. I am consciously awake, which means I'm wide awake as Nancy, and all of a sudden I'll be holding hands. I'll wake up and I'm holding hands with my ET gray mother, and I was run my fingers through hers, and can rub the top of her hand and feel her temperature of her skin and feel her skin, and it feels like a dolphin.
damn?
And I it's just an unbelievable amount of love that we have for each other.
Out of curiosity, Miss Nancy, do you happen to know your blood type? And the reason why I
A
asked that,
positive.
you're what?
A positive. My son is A positive, and my sister is A positive. RH
right.
negative has nothing to do with any interest to extraterrestrials. They don't care about blood type. That's a human thing.
That's a human thing, she says.
Yes, that means nothing. It might mean something to reptilians. I don't know. But
Right.
you have to understand, all this misinformation is to keep humanity confused, not knowing where to turn, who to listen to, who's telling the truth.
Well, I damn well believe that.
It's worked, and that's why there's probably about 1 million contactees like me that will be waking up, and we vibrate at a very higher level than the average person. and we are going to be play a major role in helping raise the frequency to help us ascend and to help us become pure light in the eyes of extraterrestrials.
Miss Nancy.
But our goal is also to educate humanity and to help them to be a better human being.
I'm going to ask you this question, and then we're going to go to break. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know? Are you aware of Travis Walton?
Absolutely, I've met him.
All right, great dude.
Yes.
If I were to experience, like Miss Monica Mark says here, if I were to experience what Travis experienced, I would want nothing to hell to do with it, because they scared the living shit out of Travis. Now,
no, they did not. No, you don't understand. When Travis signed his rights over to make that film, everything was exaggerated. The whole thing was made to make money, which is a human thing.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Travis, and if you talk to him or read his actual biography, you will know, and he says point blank, as he has gotten older, he understands more about his experience. And what happened to him was they were out logging, they saw the light, they went to it, his curiosity got the best of him, he went to it, the extraterrestrials were doing some kind of maintenance or whatever on their craft. He was exposed to radiation. Now, if they had left him, he would have died. But they took him into craft and worked on him and saved his life. And after he got to a certain point of, healthy and stuff, then they took him back to Earth. But he was up there and they saved his life. All that stuff that they showed on the TV show was just like The Exorcist. A movie,
right.
A man-made movie to make money.
Exaggerated.
Exaggerated, and it put fear in humanity is what these bad cabal, black hats, etc. That's what they all want, is to fool you.
Is the exaggeration of the truth, right?
Yes, it is.
I get it.
I've met Travis more than once, and we've had this conversation.
I haven't had the opportunity to meet him. I have got into a chat with him. I would love to get him on the show and talk to him.
Oh, yeah, he's very. He doesn't do that a lot. You won't see him on Facebook hardly.
No, I
know Mike Rogers, that was the driver, his brother-in-law. I also know him very well too, and I know his version of the story, which is not exactly like Travis's.
Well, whenever we come back, I'm gonna open up the lines, and if these guys want to talk to you and ask you direct questions, communicate with you, whatnot, blah blah blah. You up for that?
Yes.
All right, good, very good. All right, everybody, we will indeed be back. You'll be right back, no doubt. Don't go nowhere. We're with Miss Nancy Thames.
Thames.
Thames, all right?
Yes.
I told you I'd butcher your name.
Tim is like the Thames River, remember?
Yeah. That's Miss Nancy to me. Don't go anywhere. Nancy, take a break. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Okay, great.
Hey everybody, Austin here with Colorado Custom Game Calls. Are you looking for a game call for your upcoming season? Are you looking for something unique? Are you looking for a gift for the hunter in your life? Well, look no further. We got you covered. At Colorado Custom Game Calls, you get to put your own twist on these calls. Whether it's waterfowl hunting, big game hunting, predator, or turkey, we got you covered. So be sure to hit us up on our Facebook and Instagram or on the web at ColoradoCustomGameCalls.com.
What is up, all my beautiful and gorgeous souls? I am Michelle Espinosa, otherwise known as the Shaman, through the Matrix Mind Media. So tell me, how many times have you wished that you had that special power of prediction? You know, to know what was going to happen before it actually happened and took place. To have some power and control over that situation before things came flying at you out of left field. The thing is, you actually can have that power. you can be aware of what's coming. Tune in to Astrology TV with me for Breaking the Cage every Sunday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Matrix Mind Media. And I will go through the astrology and help put you on the right course and get you back in control of your own life. Love you guys.
This CBD fluid is a whole flower fluid extracted from the cannabis flower. We don't use any heat, butane, or chemicals when we extract, so we get all of the components of the plant. All the CBD, CBG, CBA, all the terpenes, all the flavonoids. This allows our body to absorb at 60 to 90% rather than the average of 6 to 10% absorption you would get with a CBD oil. Because our bodies are made up of mostly water and this is a fluid, it's highly absorbable so that you're getting 500% more nutraceuticals per dose. We also have this available in our CBD spray as well as a muscle rub with all kinds of botanicals. You're going to absolutely love it.
Check it out, Brainiacs. MatrixMinds.live/CBD. The CBD I use. Feel free again. Feel alive again. And now back to the show. Alrighty, Miss Nancy. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha back with me.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, I'm going to flip over to another screen here. I'm going to grab this. All right, I got this. While I was grabbing my cup of coffee, it crossed my mind to ask you, what do you believe the longest you were off planet?
Well, you have to understand, extraterrestrials do not experience, they do not have time. Everything all happens at once. Time is different. There is no time. What could seem like an hour to us could be like a month to them. It's just different. You can experience a lot of stuff in a very short period of time. It's hard to explain, but it's just, there is no such thing as time.
Okay, so you're telling me you have no true real recollection of actually how long?
Yes, I know, like hours. Like hours.
To you, right? To you.
Yeah, for the time. Yeah, if you want to look at my clock and go by time, but I really don't do that. I mean, I have, like when it first started happening, or when I was trying to piece things together, but I don't worry with things like that now. It matters not to me anymore.
Wow.
I know,
All right.
I know who I am and what I'm experiencing, so I like it. It's fun. I enjoy it. Can't say I used to always feel like this, but now I'm at peace and I understand why it's all happening.
Do you happen to have any recollection of them talking to you about the creation of the human being? Out of curiosity.
Well, they don't talk through their mouth. They use telepathy. And no, I've never asked questions like that. Everything is about me learning and in my conscious state, learning to adapt and understand, because they're so far ahead of us in everything. It's, things are just different and you have to learn to understand things. It's very hard to explain. But no, I've never asked them stuff like that. I know that they played a part in our creation. We are many different races. We were designed for many different races. So, and that's why there's many different races that are working towards hoping that we have disclosure for us. But you have to understand, our disclosure here on the world is quite different from extraterrestrial disclosure. That's totally different things,
Right.
So you have to
The
understand they are not human beings, and they don't do things the way we do things, and the universe doesn't evolve around us.
right, right. A lot.
So,
The
you
contact
know,
that I spoke with one guy that he had he had woken up with a supposedly this man woke up with a tattoo. Okay, I'm not going to say his name, but I'm just going to say he woke up. He looked. He was on the computer. Okay, he was on the computer doing what he does, and he started falling asleep a little bit. Next thing you know, blam! He fell asleep and woke up like an hour later, and he woke up with a brand, like a tattoo branded on his arm, because supposedly he was a skeptic, right? So
yeah,
they showed him that he was not a skeptic. When he woke up, so do you happen to have any kind of physical
they don't do that.
any physical interactions?
Yes, I have physical interactions
Okay.
face to face, but they don't do things like that.
Okay, they did.
That's,
I
that's,
was wondering. I just look again. You can
that's
tell
not
me.
real.
You can tell
That's
me
not,
that
that's not an ET experience.
you as well as anybody can tell me anything, and I'm just gonna go okay. I'm not gonna believe everything, but however, no, hell no. But however, you guys are free to say whatever you want to say, share whatever you want to share. I'm not here to challenge your guys' thoughts.
Yeah.
So whenever he said what he said, I'm like, oh, all right.
No, it's not like that. And um, you know, I am there to learn, and I am here to learn. It's just two different experiences. Showing off or things like that, they just don't do things like that. That's not in their nature. And their interactions with me is pure, and they would never want me to make claims that are just not even would ever even happen, or it's that's just not going to happen.
I've
That's,
got a question in regards to like the questioning of things. All right, I can kind of feel where this is going. Mrs. Robin Hibbert asked, why at all you haven't questioned anything, really?
I did.
In reference to like deep questions.
I have.
I just
mean,
asked you about creation. Those thoughts.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't ask them. I have not asked them that particular thing. No, I was more interested in why me, why my role, what is it about me?
All
and,
right.
Why am I having these experiences? And I don't ask things like that. And you have to understand, when this happens to you, you don't know when. Now I don't know. It's like I couldn't tell you what their agenda is going to be for next week. But if they were coming tonight, I would feel them. I would feel it, and I know it's about to happen. But you have to understand, this is not something that you get prepared for. It just happens, and it happens so quick, and the scenery and everything is so different. You don't carry a camera with you. You don't take notes. I mean, everything is so overwhelming and so different, and it's such a unbelievable experience that your mind does not even think of things like that. You're thinking about what's happening right then, and the fact that you're holding hands and feeling and the beauty of it, and that's all you can think about is feel the love and respect and the bond. And that's enough. I mean, that's enough for me. Nothing else matters. I don't care about other things.
Right.
There'll be a time when they want me to know, and I will know. And I already know, I'm sure in my subconscious, I know much, because a lot of times when I ask them things, they say, you already know.
Got a
It's just I
question.
haven't accepted it yet.
The moon, my dear. We've all asked about the moon. Is it real or is it just a satellite?
I really don't know the answer to that either. I don't ask. I've read things, researched on it, and I know what y'all know. I'm here having a human experience, but I'm only allowed to know when they're ready for me to, or more or less, really, it's more about when I am ready.
They may tell you one day. Well, sorry.
They say
Right.
you already know.
Well,
So it's me accepting things and then affirming it for myself and doing it.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of curiosity, Mr. Andy Cassidy. A lot of these people, they're probably not going to call the show. They'll just watch me ask you questions
I
on
know
my
who
Facebook.
Mr. Andy Cassidy is.
Yeah.
That's who I was talking about to you earlier today.
He asked if you believe that they've got their own kind of type of Men in Black, their own
No.
yeah
Why would
no
they need that? Why would they need that?
why would
That's
they
an
do that?
American. That is a human made up thing or a human thing. No, they don't. They know everything. I mean everything. Even in my, it's unbelievable. They know everything. They know what we all think, how we all feel. They know what our frequencies are. I mean, they know everything.
You keep a diary of
No, I don't have to. No,
no diary,
no,
Monica.
no. There's no need. I have a website. I write about my experiences, and I, write articles and things of that nature. And I've made a lot of drawings and things like that. And a lot of times I'll post them in my Facebook group, but I don't all the time because, if people want to see it, they know where it is. They can go look for, I'm not going to push anything on anybody.
Lifetime of experiences. Is there any way? Because I've had this question asked towards other contactees and other experiencers.
Okay.
Everybody's asking about anything specific evidence. Anything.
Evidence. I am evidence.
You are evidence. See,
I am evidence.
You are the other contactees. They're like, because here's the thing. Like I told you off air, I can't and nor will try to validate or try to throw you under the bus.
I'm not asking you to do it.
No. I'm saying
believe what you want to. I don't
Bingo.
care because I know in my heart, and I know in my soul, and I know in my conscious and my subconscious who I am, and that I have been groomed all my life for this purpose. And I know that they told me that it would be a hard road. And I know that everybody's on their own intellectual pace of absorbing this information. And that does not bother me. You
right.
have your right to think what you want to think. You have your right to evolve as much as you want to. We're
Believing-
all free will and individual, and you should think what you want to think. And I don't care what you think. And
believing
I
is
care about
seeing.
what I do, and the ones that want to know, I'm here to help.
Any idea, Miss Nancy, if you are aware of if any of these Dennis Jr. asks, are human beings any type of descendants from any of these beings that you are aware of?
I've said this several times that we are created by them, and we have a lot of different races. I would say up in the at least 20 mark of different type of races uh, that are in our DNA. And that's why, they look at us like children because we have a lot of growing up to do even now, even though we are at a very intellectual, you know, we know when we see them now that they are not gods. We
Right.
know, that we're not going to build idols and things of this nature. We are more aware and intelligent enough to have a face to face relationship with them and um, and just learn because they went through the same evolution a long, long time ago, and they've seen other beings go through this. So this is not new to them. Um, we're the only ones that do not realize that we're not the only beings in the world. We are not alone. We've never been alone, and this is not new to anyone except for us.
I completely agree with whatever you said. We are not alone, and we've never been alone.
Exactly.
I feel that in my heart of hearts. I
Well, see,
can't.
that's the thing. We all know these things, just like when they say to me, "You already know." Well,
Hmm.
we all already know. We just have to slow up and find our inner self, and your heart and your mind will lead you in the right path.
Miss Rose asks in the chat when she may have missed it. I too must have may have. When your last experience was?
Um, Face to face experience was in September when I was in Mexico. They came to see me every single night, and they coerced me down there. It was a very last minute trip planned, and we went. My son and I, just mother and son, and they came to see us every night. So we learned a lot of things, and we also learned that my ET mother is not the one that comes to get him. He has a different set of he has his own group, and someone told me that they call that handlers. I don't like that word. You know, I call her my ET mother, and she has two others that are always with. They come in a party of three, and they come for a party of three for my son. So when they came for him, I raised up and looked, and they looked at me, took their hand, put it on my shoulder, and told me in my head, or telepathically,
Mm-hmm.
this is not about you. And so I laid down and went back to sleep, and they took him. So, yeah. So, and
Wow.
vice versa. One night he woke up because he's so in tune. We know they're there. We know if they came next door to visit neighbors, we would feel it because they have us like fine tuned, and we know. So when they came for me, he was trying to get up, and I was standing there, and that's when I was like running my fingers around and having my moment with my ET female mother. I was having my moment with her, and then I looked over across the room, and my son kept trying to get up out of the bed. He was like this, like this, like this, and they had him where he couldn't get up. you know, he couldn't get up, so he eventually it stopped. But then when that happened, at that point, I started to feel anxiety because I wanted us to have an experience together. But
Right. I get. I
there's
give
no
you.
negotiating. They are always on task. So the minute that I started getting upset because he couldn't get up, and I was like my Chris, and then she tapped me out. So, and that was that. And then when I was coming back, I was back conscious, and she helped me get in the bed, and I could still, like, it was unbelievable. my whole insides was just like really, really vibrating like crazy. And I just eventually went to sleep. So
It would be James Roundtree in the chat saying, "Can we talk to her son?" Whenever, you know what, the way I see it, one of these days, whenever they're ready to do that, they probably will do that.
yeah.
I think that'd be cooler. That would be cool as hell to have the
Well,
both of you doing the same
I
thing.
think he's very supportive of me, and he
Yeah.
feels like his purpose is to help me to get my messages out, and he's here to help me. Now, I think they have a totally different agenda for him because he's highly intelligent, and I think that, and I've seen visions of this, and they've showed me visions of him doing things with quantum computers and things of this nature. So I think, yeah, he's here to help me, but I think he's got some things that they're wanting him to do. But, you know,
The
it's just
technical,
like
I get it.
it's just like he's over here helping me set up so I could have this with you.
Right, right.
You know, he's very supportive, and he feels like we are on a mission to get this message out. My mission is just as important to him as it is to me, because he feels like that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to help me get to do my job.
Any idea, if you can remember back through your life and with him, do you happen to have any idea when they started contacting him as well?
Yes, I have two sons. I was in Key West, and at that time I was married to a Dr. Thames, and we were in one bed, and we were at the Marriott Hotel on the beach, and 3 children were in the other bed. 2 of them were my children, and the other one was my stepson. And I woke up, I felt their presence, and I raised up and looked, and they took their hand and pressed my shoulder and told me to lay back down. And so I saw there was one here by me, and then there was a space in between my bed and the other bed, and the 3 children over there. My 2 children were they were on the ends, and the stepchild was in the middle, and they walked around to the other side, and I saw them, and these particular short grays had on robes. They had on robes with high collars, and they went over and got my 2 sons, and they were young, very young at that age that it happened. And I realized, oh my gosh, they are here for my children. And I was like, please let me go with them.
Right.
But there was no negotiation at all. And I could not move. I tried to move, I could not move. And they had me at that paralyzed state, which I've had that happen before. Not in my later part of this life, but as I was younger and very fearful and stuff, there was lots of times where I was not able to move, but I was wide awake. So, and I was like laying face down, kind of like this, and I couldn't move or anything, but I saw them get them out of the bed and start leaving with them, and there was nothing I could do. And I went to sleep. They put me out. So
that state of being that you're talking about, I know as what's called a paralysis state.
Yes.
It's whenever your mind is awake, your eyes are alert, and you're like, you just can't move.
You can't
Yeah.
scream or
Right.
anything.
You can't do nothing.
So the next morning, we all went to breakfast, and we were sitting there, and I was like, I said, "What any of you boys like to tell me if you had some dreams or anything you'd like to talk about?" And they were like, "No."
They didn't even want to talk about the experience. Is that what you're saying?
I think they didn't remember it.
They didn't remember it.
I don't think they remembered it. But another time, when we were living, I was still married, and we were living with the ex-husband and the stepson. They came for them, and I vaguely remember this, and and I know why they did that is because I always am in fear of what my children are feeling. You know, I'm
Well,
that's
you're a
the
mom.
mother.
Yeah, you're a mom.
But they don't understand that. You know, they're there for a mission. You know, and they don't do any harm or anything, but you know, they're there to check to see if they're okay, how they're developing and mentally, socially, etc. You know, and so and just like with them, as they get older, they get more face to face. And my younger son, he's not receptive. He knows that he's had experiences, but he's not at the acceptance part of it. He still has fear and a lot of questions. And he's pretty young, so it's going to take a while for him. You know, well, I'd say 5 more years, and he'll be like his brother, because they know what they're doing. You know, they know what they're doing, and they don't push. They groom you into these things, you know. And with us, you know, it's certainly not about a hybrid program or trying to take eggs or sperm and stuff, because they've been coming to get us all for all this time. And ever since I was in my 40s, you know, I no longer had eggs or anything like that. You know, I went through menopause, and, you know, I was not fertile. So this is not about that. This is about the true agenda of what all this means. And I am a living being, an example that this is all about intelligent design, and the way that they're doing it it's a beautiful thing. And the problem is it's misunderstood, you know, because we have a lot of fears for a lot of different reasons. But once you accept the fact that it is part of your life, and you accept and learn from it, you begin to understand the whole purpose of it and what it all means. And when you do that, it is the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to you. It really is.
Now I want to ask you, I'm going to go ahead and throw again. I'm not going to throw you under the bus. I just want you to know where we're at with DoD technology. Okay.
Okay.
You're aware of DARPA, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so in conjunction, I've got a reason. I've absolutely got a reason to share with you what I'm sharing with you, because I want to know. I want to know the difference. We've got technology. I call them glorious machines. That's because they are. They're absolute from HARP to Project Bluebeam. Okay, to all of the satellites is including and not limited to Neuralink. CERN, right? The Large Hadron Collider, the ones that can detect, you know, the antimatter and dark matter, the God particle, right? All of these glorious machines, in conjunction with HARP and the Department of Defense, from what we realized and or know on the broadcast here, the human mind can be hijackable. What sets? Now I've asked other experiencers this. What has set your experience apart from you? You absolutely know without a doubt that this is real. Is it the feeling? I mean, the connection. Just tell me. Because of what I just told you, we've got technology on the planet that will hijack the mind of a human being.
Can you physically touch this technology, and can you physically feel it and feel body temperature, you know,
It's
I
there.
have,
It's just.
I have
I
face to
get
face
it.
and hold hands and hug, bond.
The feeling. That's where I'm going. The feeling. That's
Yeah.
what I've tried to say this to other people. Is whenever we know this technology exists. We know that it exists.
Yes.
Just you can't see Wi-Fi, but you know it's there, right? You can't
Right.
see the radio signal, but you know it's there. So the only way to really realize that the experience is real and the experience is valid is you get, like you just said, the feeling. I understand, right? Like you said, the bond. You felt it. You absolutely, without a doubt, know within your
Yes.
heart this, right?
Yes. And I touch them. They touch me. It's a mutual thing, and it's a affirmation of love, and you know, it's just a bond. I don't know how to explain it because it's beautiful. It's just the most beautiful thing, to actually, to feel and just be able to run your fingers with a gray, which I don't even like to call them a gray because that's not what they call each other. That's not y'all. I don't. I call her my ET mother. So it's real, and it took me a long time to accept it. It took me a long time to understand why, and it's been a lifelong experience. So it doesn't happen overnight, and that they are very patient. They are very patient, and they understand our emotions and feelings, and they know every thought in our head, and they have found me at my worst, having divorces or having, fighting over things, and just thinking, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable, and having terrible things happen, and they would always come to me. They've always been there, and I didn't call them. They just would make their presence known, and they've told me not many times, if this gets to be too much, you can always come home. And that there's no way I would even consider that, and they already knew that, but they wanted me to know that I have a home.
That would be unplug you from the matrix, go bye-bye. That's what that would be. Right? That's what I get out of it. You can always come home.
Yeah. My son, sometimes I love talking to my son, and I love talking to my sister, because sometimes just talking to them, their perception, my perception, we all like talk to each other and help each other to understand things. And it's like my son said to me, he said, Mom, do you know how wonderful this is? And I'm like, well, I guess. And he goes, Mom, you actually know when you leave Earth, if you pass away, you know where you're going. You know where you're going. You touch an extraterrestrial. People don't have that not everybody has that kind of relationship. So I do know that it's hard to understand, and it's took me a long time to even understand and believe it, but it's real, and they have a message for humanity to wake up, and they want to help us.
Miss Monica Marks says, if all of this is true, then it's a really big deal, in her opinion.
It is
right?
a very big
And
deal.
hell yes. Well, here's the thing.
This is the biggest thing mankind has ever experienced, and it's going to happen.
Now, okay, let's stay there for a minute.
Okay.
That we've ever experienced.
Exactly.
Do you believe in reincarnation, your own self?
Yes.
Okay, what happened to our other civilizations? Because I can tell you like literally, we have been wiped from this planet 5 other times. So what happened
some people recycle and come back, and either they haven't matured or intellectually enough, or they haven't experienced enough, and they'll recycle. Some people, figure it all out, and they evolve into a higher consciousness than average Joe. And when they get up there, they can decide to choose any form. And if they've completed all the experiences that they feel is appropriate, they can be non-physical and just be an etheric energy body, and just be up there with the rest of them, and I think that's kind of like the main goal is to you go through all these different experiences, and everything is a learning experience, and then the goal is to finally get to where you're the etheric being.
I'm trying to read these comments. I'm listening to you too.
That's fine.
The etheric being, there's those that I like to say that religion is a man-made concept.
Oh, absolutely.
And
yes.
That goes in reference to a question that Miss Rose said. She says, do you believe that where you go is like, it's not heaven? And I the way I seen that question was the word heaven.
There is
right.
No hell.
That's
man-made.
Right. That to me is because if we are quote unquote here on assignment, here in spirit, here whatever the hell we are, okay? I personally don't believe that, like I tried to share you off air. I shared with you that we ever like the as above so below, right? I shared that with you. The pyramids, the triangulum, we've got these things documented. Okay, the tree of life, it is a constellation. The triangulum, it's a constellation, etc., etc., etc. Right? So I personally lost the dogmatic understanding of religion quite some time ago. Now that's just me. That's me. I'm not speaking for anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm not want to keep you here for very much longer.
Oh, I don't mind.
You don't mind?
I don't mind.
Let's go to. Okay. Mrs. Robin Hubbard says, if you have not already finished all of your goals, okay. So if you finished all of your goals, you don't reincarnate again. Is this right?
No, that the part of reincarnating is to come back and complete what you couldn't finish the other time. It's, you have to, there are certain goals in order to reach higher consciousness and to reach your evolutionary stage. You have to experience different things, and different people come here to experience different things. Some people come here, from what I've been told, some people come here and really have no intention of staying here very long. So, I really don't want to go into all that because that's really going to fluff some feathers, so to speak. But, there's a lot of stuff that happens to humans that we don't understand why, but we don't actually know what kind of contracts they made before they came here. So
I just have, again, I my own self, I've got so many questions as to what, where, who, when, how, right? And why the damn lie. I'm watching my Matrix
why do we lie to our children about the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus? Because it was all made up to make money. All these religions make money,
Yes, I definitely.
It's all been a lie. Everything has been a lie. Everything. It's even in our school books. There's lies in our school books everywhere.
Oh yeah. You know what? I took Junior out of school whenever he was 13 years old, and going on 14 years old, and I tell you, man, that was the best thing that I have ever done for that kid, is remove him from out of that indoctrination camp.
Yeah. It's a lot of brainwashing, actually. It is.
I look at the construct, the world around me, Miss Nancy, and again, I cannot help but say, the movie The Matrix. I personally look at the world around me as we create our own experience. That's the way I believe it, right?
Yes. Yes.
That is why I cannot ever tell you you're wrong, you're lying, you're fabricating. It's your experience.
Exactly.
And I look at the cabal, and I look at all of these things that a lot of people don't realize, that the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, blah 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 blah. There's a lot of bad people going down right now.
Yes.
There's a lot of exposure happening right now.
It needs to happen.
It's happening. It
has
is.
to happen so that we can learn and change and become better human beings. You know.
These people, though, they're going to be eradicated. You realize this, right?
Oh yes, I understand. Yes.
How do you feel about that? I'm saying, be honest. That's a valid question. How do you feel about a race of people, the draconian people? They're still part of the soul source. They're not learning their lesson, and they're going to probably be eradicated. Gone.
Well, everything, I think there's timeline. We're all in timelines, okay? Things are going to happen, and some things we cannot change, some things we can, and that goes for extraterrestrials. There's some things they can, some things they can't. And unfortunately, some things have to happen so that the good things will be able to flourish and happen. For example, the dinosaurs and stuff, who's to say, or what I think, I'm not saying this is the gospel or the honest truth, but I think that probably there was an extraterrestrial race that probably wanted to get them out of the way so that we could flourish and develop, and they were in our way. They would make it harder for us to evolve. So they came down here and got rid of those creatures. And I don't think it was necessarily an asteroid. I think it was mass. It was weapons of. They use weapons to destroy most of the planet and the animals on it. And it was like they were starting over from scratch.
I believe that. Do you know that? I what you just said, I believe that. That's like going back into Egypt, right? I study Egypt a lot. That's probably my main go-to. And there's too many positives, okay? Too many pros versus cons that they were genocide. I'm just saying. There's too many things that point to they were eliminated as well, or tried to be eliminated.
Mm-hmm. Well, something happened to Atlantis, and most of those people perished, but some of the people did manage to migrate over into other areas, like into Africa and Egypt and over into different places. And so they carried a little bit of their technology, but they had major technology. And, I think they just got too big for their britches and ended up, destroying themselves. And that's the thing, that we're kind of at a pivotal point where if we could do the same things to ourselves, and extraterrestrials are reaching out, trying to assist us so that we don't make those same mistakes.
what do you personally feel about this the government covering up, because they do, covering up the experiences, covering up the visualizations? That's like, remember we was talking a little bit about the Arizona lights, right? The northern,
Yes.
what do you feel in your heart of hearts that the purpose of that shit, covering it up?
Well, for one thing, they did not want to admit to the world that there was something that they were not in control of, that they wanted to be the big shots of the world, and they didn't want to admit that there was beings out there that they could literally had no technology over or could not match. And so they used a lot of excuses, and they've done a lot of horrible things to keep this a secret. And another thing too is that for us to they have accepted some ET technology, but again, you have to understand, for ET to come here and to really give us better technology, a lot of things like playing with these weapons of mass destruction and things of this nature, we would need to get rid of and make promises that we would not make those anymore. And governments are not willing to do that at the times that they've approached them. So there's just a lot of things. They kept it, I've read, I wasn't personally there, so I can't say that I know everything for a fact, but I've researched and I know of a lot of things, and a lot of people have gone missing or assassinated to keep this all in, from people finding out. But now it's to the point where ET is here, and they've given them some kind of time frame, I feel, and they have to start leaking out information, and they don't really know how to go about it without all the horrible things they've done coming out. So personally, what I think is they're waiting for the James Webb telescope to find something, because that would be their scapegoat. See, if James Webb telescope would find something, and it wouldn't be like right here in our solar, right up here in our skies and stuff, people would be probably more receptive, and the government could they would also be even kind of excited, because they would think, oh, wow, there are human beings and they're so many light years away, et cetera, et cetera. But see, they're hoping that with all that thrill and the way of our perceiving it and things, that maybe they can slide under the coattail and not have to confess up about all the bad things that they've done. That's just my personal opinion.
So, well, what you can laugh at this and take this to the next broadcast. Ready?
Okay.
If you got to remember, NASA, okay, just released that they upgraded the Voyager 2. Okay, 65 years it's been traveling in space. 65 years. And they upgraded the software in it just like not even a month ago.
They know a lot of stuff, but you have to understand, the government has them under thumb. They are a branch of the government, so they can't. I'm sure while there's some there that will never say anything, there's probably a lot there that are biting at the bit, wanting to tell.
Well, they're more than welcome to bust it out right here. I don't give a shit what y'all talk about, no matter how deep it is.
Yeah, they would love to. But all this, there's lots of things that's going to surface. And, they've even started, like, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the UAP Medical Coalition. And that's where they're getting everybody in the mental health fields to become aware of disclosure and what this means in the mental health field, because there'll be a lot of people, this will be hard for them to accept. I mean, a lot of people that are really gun ho and religious and have spent their whole life, with these beliefs, and they bust their shell. Some of them are going to actually have mental health issues. So I am.
Have you driven to the store lately? When's the last time you drove to the store? Today? You tell me how many people that you've encountered that are even worth keeping. I'm for real. Other than there is some stupid people between here and the store.
Well, most people are unaware of what's going on in the world. They're just like working their job and trying to make a living. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and they have not a clue what's going on.
Absolutely, you're right. They aren't. They a lot of the people that I see in my own world, they're either in two categories. They're either on point and they know what the hell's going on, or they are absolutely so stupid you want to wet their lips and stick them to the window. Yeah, I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I sincerely know that that a lot of people are going to have mental health issues, and anybody in the mental health field needs to be aware and prepared for what's coming around the corner, because that's going to be part of it too. Is people will need. I'm not talking about people just waking up with experiences, but people that are crushed their whole life. They have thought these things, and now they find out that none of it is true. It's going to really hit home hard for some people. So, and all of y'all should look up UAP Medical Coalition, and that's what it's all about. It's a support system that the government has asked, or not necessarily the government, but people in disclosure have started asking people in the medical profession and in mental health to start being prepared for this and start, educating people.
Well,
this is a big deal. It's going to happen, and everybody knows it. It's going to happen.
Andy Cassidy's going to chime in on that one with you and say there's too many people eating Tide Pods yet still.
What's he saying?
He says there's too many people still eating Tide Pods, and I can't disagree with him on that one.
I don't know what that is.
Tide Pod. That's whenever these kids were eating Tide Pods. A Tide Pod, what you stick in the dishwasher, them little teeny dishwasher pods. Yeah,
okay.
That's what I'm saying. These kids, these people, the majority of them they're still, like I said, they're still eating Tide Pods.
Yeah. Well, the world's got a big wake-up call coming, and it's going to happen. And if you stop and think about it, there's a lot of indigenous people and natives that have never even seen technology. So we tend to forget that there's all these different people in the world that live a different life than we live, but ET knows this, and everything that we do affects. Well, let's just say this: we are all connected. We are all connected. We are all one, and everything we do affects everything. So all this is going to happen in one way or another. It's going to affect everybody because we are all connected. And the best thing we can do is prepare ourselves, educate ourselves, research on it, and, have an open mind and realize that something different doesn't mean that it's bad. Change is not always bad. Sometimes it's good. And this is really different than anything that any of us have ever experienced throughout humanity and throughout history. But it's time for it, and it will be a good thing, and it will be a blessing in disguise.
All right. Miss Nancy, we're up on the 2-hour mark, my dear friend. So here's what we're going to do. Nobody comes here to make, again, this, I'm glad to have you after 2 years of trying to hunt your ass down to get you.
Yes.
Nobody comes on the Matrix without saying something positive to everybody around this globe. This is a global show, so I want you to smile and just say something positive and uplifting for everybody on the planet. Do that.
Try to vibrate yourself in a higher level by thinking positive. Whenever you have a negative thought, place 2 positive thoughts on top of it. And also, as far as this war, don't pick a side, because if you pick a side, that's generating negative energy. What you need to do is meditate or pray, and pray for peace. Ask for peace.
Pray for peace.
Yes.
You know what? I this goes to like everybody. And I've said this time and time again. I don't care anything about what we're told about the people of China or Russia or whatever. I don't have a problem with these people, and I know you do not either.
No.
Okay, is these big ass governments that seem to like, right? You're shaking your head. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the problem. It's not the people. It's not the people.
They're innocent bystanders.
All right, my dear. Thank you again. I appreciate you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing your story. Again, it's your story, and it ain't nobody.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Gotta have you again. Updates. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to.
All right, hon. Take care of yourself. Good night.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, doggy, Mr. and Mrs. Brainiacs, globalistically worldwide. Yeah, man. Wow. Again, it's not my job. It's not my job to facilitate whether she was not. Being real. I mean, like I said, to me, I personally believe that believing is seeing. It's not the other way around. It's not I'm going to have to see it to believe it. I don't, my own conscious mind says I've got to put forth my belief, put forth the trust, and then once I begin to put forth that and grow it, then it's got something to like latch onto and nurture its own self and come to fruition. Just saying. That's the way I personally believe. So Miss Nancy here, the life of the journey of an extraterrestrial experiencer, conscious experiencer, that would be one hell of an adventure. Would you not agree? For sure. My friends, you guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's podcast. I hope you can join us on Monday, Manic Monday, when we talk about anything and everything. And I get an opportunity to mock the living shit out of the government. I do believe I'm going to talk about scratch and stink. Just because. I want to talk a little bit about, again, politics. Not into politics, but I do believe I'm gonna schedule this coming Monday where I'm gonna just have it out with. I'm gonna have it out with DC. Yeah, flex my mouth is what I'm gonna do. They don't like me. Try to shut me up. They shut you up. They shut me up all the time on Facebook. Oh, thrown under the jail. Facebook. Blah. Brainiac, again, thank you for being with me the entirety of the night. I appreciate you. Much love to you. Anything and everything you guys want to share on the broadcast, it is your guys' podcast. Don't forget that. So we'll catch you guys. You guys please have a great weekend. Do your thing. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. And until Monday, peace out, Brainiac. Crank it up on the way out of here. Out of here. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Let's do this. One of the fastest growing talk shows on the internet. Radio show. Welcome aboard the Matrix Minds.
one of the most controversial conspiratorial shows on the web, The Matrix Minds. And that's right. Buckle up, everybody. Let's go. Paranormal, huh? Conspiracy, huh? Ufology, hidden Egyptology, and anything and everything we can get our hands on. Let's go. Welcome aboard. The Matrix Minds. The Matrix Minds. Your show.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, man. If I can get you to please, if you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast, help me support tonight's broadcast, tonight's podcast. Without you, it does not happen. We do got bills here. This is absolutely positively what I enjoy. This is my heart. I enjoy participating with you every week. We've got four different shows for you guys. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Michelle Espinosa's broadcast here on Saturday night. So please, if you enjoyed tonight, go to the very top of the broadcast page, smash that subscribe button, Brainiac. See you guys next podcast.
Hey everybody, Austin here with Colorado Custom Game Calls. Are you looking for a game call for your upcoming season? Are you looking for something unique? Are you looking for a gift for the hunter in your life? Well, look no further. We got you covered. At Colorado Custom Game Calls, you get to put your own twist on these calls. Whether it's waterfowl hunting, big game hunting, predator, or turkey, we got you covered. So be sure to hit us up on our Facebook and Instagram or on the web at ColoradoCustomGameCalls.com.
What is up, all my beautiful and gorgeous souls? I am Michelle Espinosa, otherwise known as the Shaman, through the Matrix Mind Media. So tell me, how many times have you wished that you had that special power of prediction? You know, to know what was going to happen before it actually happened and took place. To have some power and control over that situation before things came flying at you out of left field. The thing is, you actually can have that power. You can be aware of what's coming. Tune in to Astrology TV with me for Breaking the Cage. Every Sunday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Matrix Mind Media. And I will go through the astrology and help put you on the right course and get you back in control of your own life. Love you guys.
This CBD fluid is a whole flower fluid extracted from the cannabis flower. We don't use any heat, butane, or chemicals when we extract, so we get all of the components of the plant. All the CBD, CBG, CBA, all the terpenes, all the flavonoids. This allows our body to absorb at 60 to 90% rather than the average of 6 to 10% absorption you would get with a CBD oil. Because our bodies are made up of mostly water and this is a fluid, it's highly absorbable so that you're getting 500% more nutraceuticals per dose. We also have this available in our CBD spray as well as a muscle rub with all kinds of botanicals. You're going to absolutely love it.
Check it out, Brainiacs. MatrixMinds.live/CBD. The CBD I use. Feel free again. Feel alive again. And now back to the show.